The Man, the Donkey, and the Precious Stone. There was once a poor, gentle man by the name of Faisal, living in a quiet, small village surrounded by rolling hills. Faisal owned very little, a small house, a patch of land, and his faithful donkey Dodo, who was more of a companion than a work animal. Faisal and Dodo every morning would set out into the hills to collect firewood. He would then sell that wood in the village to gather sufficient money to purchase food for the day. Still, simple life was harsh, though often Faisal longed for much more. Nonetheless, he stared at the stone, his mind churning with possibilities. With this treasure, he could escape poverty, buy a comfortable home, and perhaps even help the struggling villagers around him. But as Faisal's thoughts strayed to grand dreams, he became aware of Dodo braying softly. The donkey nudged him gently with its nose, as if to remind him of something important. Faisal then realized that he had a decision to make. He could now sell the gemstone and live a luxurious life, or use his newfound fortune in order to make improvements to people's lives. One day, as they wandered through a rocky valley, Faisal noticed Dodo behaving oddly. The donkey stopped in his tracks and began pawing at the ground near a large rock. Curious, Faisal knelt down to see what had caught Dodo's attention. Beneath the dirt and dust lay something shiny, a stone that gleamed with a brilliance Faisal had never seen before. With shaking hands, Faisal picked it up and cleaned it off. It was no ordinary rock. It was a precious gemstone, larger than any he'd ever heard of, shimmering with hues of green, blue, and gold in the sunlight. Could it be real? Instead of rushing out to sell his stone, Faisal returned to the village and tracked down the village elder. Her name was Amanur, a wise woman. He presented the gemstone to her, telling her how he came across it. Amanur took the stone closer and inspected it. "It is a very rare and valuable gem," she confirmed. And she smiled at Faisal and said, "The value of the stone lies not only in its beauty, but in how you use it. Wealth can change a man, Faisal." Faisal, inspired by her words, decided to auction the gemstone. This money he saved and built a school for the children in the village, dug a well to provide clean water, and set up a market where villagers could trade goods and crafts. Faisal's life changed, but he did not become arrogant. He built a simple house and made sure Dodo had a good stable with abundant food. Whenever he looked at the flourishing village, he felt deep satisfaction, knowing he'd used his fortune for good. And he loudly ordered things to the house for years before finally giving it to her. Faisal added the lands to the village, traveled the village, and doubled the spending on everything in the village, and set it up for the flourishing village. He built a simple house and made sure Dodo had a good stable with abundant food. Whenever he looked at the flourishing village, he felt deep satisfaction, knowing he'd used his fortune for good. And so Faisal and Dodo became legends in the village. The story of the kind man and his clever donkey who had found a precious stone and using it changed not only their lives, but also the lives of all the people around them, was told by everyone often, and they all lived happily ever after. As for the cart, they were lucky with it anyway because there was very little held in it.